Good afternoon. I'm Sally Norris from the South Freeport Congregational Church. Thank you so much for joining with us today for our weekday daily devotionals. On my bookcase, I have a good number of volumes of daily readings. These volumes come from all religious traditions, and they contain abundant wisdom. And so for my personal daily devotions every morning, I select one or two readings, take a time to think about the wisdom in those readings, and take some time to pray. And so today I would like to share with you an excerpt from one of the volumes that is indeed one of my favorites. It's entitled Sacred Intentions, Morning Inspiration to Strengthen the Spirit based on Jewish Wisdom. The writers of this volume are Rabbi Dr. Carrie Olitsky and Rabbi Lori Foreman Jacoby. And here is this marvelous volume. If you can find a copy of it somewhere on Amazon or somewhere else, I do encourage you to add it to your library as well. So I received permission to share one of the readings with you today. And the reading is actually from March 31st. So it was one that I read and reflected upon yesterday. It is a reading that refers to the story in Genesis of Jacob and his dream about the ladder and angels ascending and descending the ladder between earth and heaven. It's from the 28th chapter of the book of Genesis in the Hebrew scriptures. I encourage you to take some time and read that and meditate on it, see what it says to you. I think Rabbi Olitsky in this meditation gives a marvelous interpretation of that reading, and he places it in the context of the theme of blessing. So here is the meditation that I read yesterday and I share with you today, and even though it was not written for this time of pandemic, I hope these words can find a place in your hearts and in your minds and help you ponder more deeply your relationship with God, your relationship with others, your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with the world. Rabbi Olitsky begins with a quote from Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch. First, become a blessing to yourself so that you may become a blessing to others. And then Rabbi Olitsky continues. What do we do if we want to follow Rabbi Hirsch's suggestion, but we don't know how? The answer seems to be contained in the question itself. Too often, the I of self gets in the way. That's what Jacob was trying to teach us when, according to the book of Genesis, he dreamed one night of angels going up and down a ladder. He arose, awed by that experience, and proclaimed, God was in this place and I did not know. Jacob's I was occupying his life to such an extent that he could not be cognizant of the presence of God. Most of us look forward to such peak experiences and are disappointed when they do not come. What seems to get in the way of these is the self. Jacob discovered that it got in his way also. We might even say that it is what prevents a routine experience from potentially being transformed and raising us heavenward. How do we make sure that we don't get in our own way? There are no easy answers, but here is one to think about. Consider how you might go about providing blessing for another person. What might you do? What would you say? Bearing that in mind, do the same thing for yourself.